Period. And I can talk louder than the microphone. And we beg on the news and we beg CMS every day for these numbers to be in those communities on the other side of town where these people have nothing. I feed kids on the street every day that get off at old hotels and on Pfeiffer Street. I am a social worker without a degree. I am a teacher without a degree. I'm out here in the streets with no gun because guess what? I too myself, I am a convicted felon with 2 felonies on my background.
Your commitment to creating the conditions at Hopewell High School to ensure that all of our students and staff members have the opportunity to teach and be educated in an environment that is safe as possible. We have been gathering feedback, and I want to just briefly share with you some of the themes that we're hearing. One idea has been to require clear backpacks for our students.
So, guess where clear backpacks come from? China. Guess where there's a supply chain issue? Coming from China. So there's probably a lot of clear backpacks out there in the Pacific Ocean right now floating around in boats. But anyway, so there are some real barriers to us implementing things super fast, so I want you to be aware of that. These are looked at as feasibilities. Can we do it? How fast can we do it? They're not going to happen in December. I think that the boats are full of Christmas presents first, and then the backpacks may be able to come. But those are some real things.
Another idea is to institute metal detectors and begin wanding students.
I was curious, can you give an idea on some timelines? Because to me, this seems like we need to have a practical solution as soon as possible. So how fast can that be put together? I mean, Disney World does it, Panther Stadium does it, federal buildings do it. This isn't that big of a deal. We should be able to get the funding, earmark it for certain schools that are trouble spots and start there and put this equipment in, and the goal should be to not allow a gun enter the school. We can deal with the fights and the other problems and smoking dope in the bathroom, right? I wish that didn't happen either, but let's focus on the real issues so no one has to lose a kid the next time there's an argument in a hallway.
Another idea is to increase the presence of campus security associates. So add additional campus security associates to our campuses. And yet another idea is to do what Hopewell has already begun to do, and that is to increase our partnership with members of our community, with our families.
And so nothing will come out of this. We all got together and we had a nice time, but until we can figure out how to engage the other 3/4 and what we are going to do with their students who is causing the problems, we're all just out here putting on the show for the cameras. And that's all it's going to amount to. And Rhonda, I will say to you, and I'm very transparent, we sat here and listened to y'all for almost an hour and 15 minutes. And then when it was our time to get up, you got 2 minutes, you got 1 minute. And we could have did that at the next board. You guys go 10 to 12 hours. So that's where the attitude came from. So I just wanted you to know that.
Besides that, I think it's more than just at Hopewell. I think we have a lot of schools that have a lot of gun issues. Not only guns, we have drugs. We have rapes being occurred in these high schools. I think it's fine time that we stop this, and parents need to be parents and start parenting their children. I do believe metal detectors are in place. They should be in place. If we can do it at Turning Point Academy and they can get all their students in and get them wanded and sent to class before bell time, I think we can do this at every high school.
I have more of a statement. I'm just upset that our kids are still dealing with this. I remember where I was when Columbine happened. That's over 20 years ago. I can afford a clear backpack for my kid. I can make a private donation. I mean, I'm willing to have my property taxes raised to help these kids. I'd probably be mugged for saying that. But it's what's right. It's the right thing to do.
Thank you, ma'am.
To data science.
Thank you, ma'am.
So that
Time's
they have
up.
hope. And they're not turning to
Time's
gas.
up, ma'am. Thank you. And I just want to make no, I said there would be a 1-minute time. I mean, I'm trying to keep it, and I let it go quite a while.
I'm an elementary school teacher. I'm not telling you my name because I need my job on Monday. I believe no child should be left behind. But you know who's being left behind? My child who's missing his education. So I don't need an answer now because I know you don't have it. Pre-K. It starts in kindergarten.
It starts at birth.
Well, yeah, but we can't go into the hospital. But you can go into the classrooms and the schools and not have bogus programs.
Positive as much as possible. I know there's negativity out there. I've heard it. But I am trying to be solution-oriented, and that's why we had this meeting tonight. And so I'd like to continue with that. And if that's not what's wanted here, we can do it differently. Ma'am, you've already had your time on the mic. Okay, well then you can come get in line, and I'm going to let her... I did not shut anyone down. Wow.
Okay, that's hard to follow.
And this is part of the reason that we have kids that don't follow rules.
There's also an additional AI program that a high school student created in 2018 that uses IR technology to detect weapons. You don't have the metal detector, but yet you have this software. It can detect it. It can watch that human. It can lock onto that human. It can tell you if that human went into the restroom and left it. And if so, you know where it is. You also know where that human went.
And I just got a note from one of our staff members that said the AI technology is great and getting cheaper every day. So I just want you to know that that's something that's bubbling around.
I just wanted to say that I have an 11th grader who's scared to go to school. I have an 8th grader who doesn't want to go to high school anymore. And
I am a CMS employee. I have a 10th grader and I have an 8th grader. And I'm going to be 100% honest. I am afraid for my kids to go to school. My daughter is like someone else. She is desensitized to this. I'm talking to her about it and she laughs. I'm like, this is serious.
This is our first year there, and it feels like it's just been one thing after another. And I've had a lot of fear, you know. And my son doesn't have fear, and it kind of scares me. And so I'm wondering, like, he's very desensitized to all this stuff.
Just a nervous parent because my kids are at a middle school and scared about what's happening in the school next to them. And as you know, the things that have happened since that have trickled down to the feeder schools. So for those of you who are here, thank you. But I would say it's not that we can't do anything for those students who aren't here today. You can join the PTA if you aren't already. You can be one of these mom or dads on mission. You can have your child talk to a student who isn't involved at a club school or who is an outsider, because they're the ones who need that interaction the most.
But I think overall the problem is within CMS as a whole, not just with our school, not just with the students, and not just with the parents themselves.
I'd just like to give you an opportunity to apologize to my wife and my sister-in-law, and I'd like you to finish the statement you made about this is why we have children, and then I'd like you to finish that statement. You made a statement that you did not finish. This is why we have children. Who what? Who what?
You know what?
That's my question.
No, I didn't say that, sir. No, I'm not going to comment.
No,
I did
you
not
did.
say, you used
You
the word
did.
shoot up a school. I didn't say shoot up a school.
I exactly heard your words. I'm
I
sorry
think
you
that
don't
when you
remember.
have parents that shout out in a meeting, it doesn't set a really good example for students.
I'm standing here right now with a microphone in my hand.
All right, I apologize for saying that you were shouting out during the meeting.
That is
No, you can wait till
absolutely
you get in the
disingenuous.
microphone. I've asked you 3 times. I really have.
You're disingenuous, and it's obvious.
All right, I appreciate your comments and feedback.
You don't.